Hi guys, it's Bree and welcome to my channel, Just Breezy. If you're a subscriber already, thanks so much. And if you're new to the channel, I'd love for you to subscribe. Just be sure you hit the bell for notifications because I don't want you to miss out. We upload weekly content to share resources, help spread awareness, and tell some of life's stories because like I always say, life isn't always just breezy by any means, but I truly believe that together it can be a little easier. So guys, full disclosure, I was just getting ready to do a different video. One about a topic in autism because that's sort of my wheelhouse of what I do. I work with children and families that have autism. And I was in between like doing something with my makeup and something other than this 80s style side ponytail. And I realized that I couldn't do it. I couldn't do the video I wanted to do. And it was because my anxiety, and I speak openly about struggling with anxiety, my anxiety was there. It's like you feel it. It's a weight. It's heavy. It feels toxic, and it was there. And I knew if I tried to sit here and talk about something other than how I was feeling, it wasn't going to happen. It wasn't going to happen. So I decided to be true to what my channel's about. And part of that is sharing life stories because I truly believe that if we can be brave enough and open enough and honest enough to say, hey, I'm going through this, whatever it is, it doesn't have to be anxiety, but if we can say, this is what I'm going through, let me share it so that you can learn from it, let me share it to bring awareness, let me share it. Sometimes selfishly, I joke around on my Facebook Lives that it's like free therapy. But I truly believe that there's something about that helps to connect people together. So I want to share, yesterday, I brought my son to Disney on Ice. And afterwards I did a Facebook Live and I was just sort of like joking, but not, about the cost of the things that are there because it was like astronomical. And really part of me wanted to say, but besides that, hey, guess what? Listen, on the way there, I was in the middle of an anxiety attack. And I decided not to go in that direction because sometimes, although I'm open about it, sometimes it is a little like embarrassing to be like, hey, guess what? Yesterday, for my son's 5th birthday, I bought him a ticket to Disney on Ice to surprise him with the money his uncle sent him, and he was super excited about it. And I told him he didn't have to go to school, and we had a fun little breakfast date, and we were going to Disney on Ice, and he was so excited, and somehow I had an anxiety attack going there over it. Like, sometimes it's embarrassing to just say that. But that's what happened. That's what happened. So I think what I'm going to do, because I'm not ready right now to kind of go into why I have anxiety, because I know why. But I will say that at a time in my life, probably like early 20s, before I started going to therapy, I found an awesome therapist who I really need to go back to, but you know, you get older, so time and resources and money and all this other stuff, you don't tend to take care of yourself. But thankfully, she taught me a lot of amazing tools. And one was that I needed to stop just saying, oh, I'm anxious. Like, that's just who I am. At baseline, I'm anxious. This is my personality. I'm an anxious person, la, 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 because that's what I would do, and I would own it. I owned that because in my mind, I was like, you know what? I went through some stuff as a kid that, again, I will talk about later in a different video because I know people go through it. Seeing abuse, experiencing abuse, and that is so interesting what that does to your psyche as you get older and how it manifests in things like anxiety. So through therapy, I realized that it wasn't just, oh, at baseline I feel anxious, that it was that seed that was planted years ago that I never really identified or worked on, and then it just sort of like grew like out of control. And I would always try to like cut back the weeds and keep this anxiety plant really small, but I needed to really look at the seed and examine why. So I've definitely talked about how for me, a trigger with anxiety is safety. Shocking that would be something when you grow up with abuse, that safety would be a trigger. Kind of all goes together. So yesterday, we're driving to Disney on Ice. And sometimes a pattern of thought that happens with me when we're going to places that aren't familiar. I've been to the Nassau Coliseum, but not on a daily basis, so not familiar. When I'm going to something where it's just me and my child or children, instead of saying to myself, this is going to be such an awesome memory. He is so excited about this. I can't wait to take pictures. I can't wait to see his face when his favorite character, Forky, of all people from Toy Story, whatever, comes out on the ice. Instead of engaging in those thoughts, my mind goes to, and I feel silly saying it, but I literally say to myself, what if I drop dead? And no humor involved, because that happens to people. But what if we're not seated yet and I literally drop dead from whatever it might be, heart attack, aneurysm, whatever is lurking in my body? What's going to happen to my son? So that's the first thought. Again, going to see Disney on Ice for my 5-year-old's birthday. Then I'm going to a coliseum where there's also concerts. And then I start to think about the concert that Ariana Grande was at and how there was a bomb. And then I think about people in the world who do evil, sick things and show up to places with guns. And then I think about stories that my husband shoots in the media. It's all these things that could actually happen. I mean, they could all actually happen. I'm not thinking, oh, what if we go to the Coliseum and a 2-headed monster comes in and starts fire breathing all over. Like, it's not things that are made up. It's legitimate things that could happen, but have no place in my thought process going to bring my child to see Disney on Ice. It just doesn't. I mean, I think in this day and age, it's healthy to, when we're going to places like that, to be aware of things like your exits, to be aware of people around you, to say, okay, you know what, quick in my head, God forbid something goes down, yep, that's where I'm leaving. But then I think for other people, they might have that thought, or maybe not. Maybe those negative thoughts never enter their mind. How amazing would that be to feel that way? But I think it's okay to have that and then say, okay, I thought it, I planned it, now we're moving on. But oftentimes what happens is that I get into this pattern, and I've been really good at hiding it at times where other people could be talking around me, my children can be talking to me, I could have a smile on my face, and then until it starts to manifest itself physically. So then I start to feel nauseous. I start to get tightening in my throat where, like, to swallow, like you could just feel it. I start to feel heavy, like a heaviness just on me and in my chest. And then the last part is I always cry. Whether I'm sad or not, it's just that's what my eyes decide they need to do, and it just all comes out through my eyes. And that's when I'll usually excuse myself from a situation to, like, gather myself, or there are times where it's just happened in front of people. And that's always fun. But yesterday on the way there, Frankie's talking to me about how excited he was. And at one point I just had to say, you know what, buddy, mom needs a minute. I'm going to put the music on, sing, whatever. Because I needed to, at that point, say to myself, stop. Because that's the other thing. A lot of times I don't know that I'm in that thought pattern until it's like someone is saying stop. And that someone is me. I know that sounds a little like wonky, but if you can imagine, like, if you're daydreaming about something, and sometimes you don't even realize you're daydreaming until, like, somebody's like, hello, or you get to where you're going and you're like, oh wow, I didn't even realize I was just daydreaming about, I don't know, something happy, hopefully. But for me and for many other people, I know it's not just a me thing, I don't realize that I just spent 10 minutes, which seemed like an hour, 10 minutes thinking about, what if I die? What's going to happen to my son at the Coliseum? Who's going to pick up my daughter from school? How is that going to affect my husband? My mom's going to be heartbroken. My brother, my sister, my dad. And then the thought of what if? What if? Fill in the blank. It could be what if anything. And it doesn't help, guys. It doesn't help that these things actually happen in life. It doesn't help that my husband works for the news and goes to these terrible stories. It doesn't help that I've shared this during a Facebook Live, that I was in the mall with my child, my daughter, my niece, and my sister when somebody shot off a gun. Doesn't help anxiety. Doesn't help that I lived through abuse. I saw abuse. It doesn't help at all those feelings. But for me, also what happens, and again, I know it's not just a me thing, but it's exhausting, right? So like, you could be in that thought process for 5-10 minutes, maybe longer. I could have all the physical signs of, oh, crap, I need to calm myself down because this is like an attack happening on my body. But now I know through therapy how to calm myself down. I know what triggers it. I know certain things to like stay away from as far as, media or images on TV, certain movies. Like, there's no reason for me to put my head space in like a more negative direction. But it's exhausting. And a lot of times I feel the effects of that the next day. And that's what happened today. I woke up early, brought my son, he goes to speech, brought him there, talking to the speech therapist about things having to do with him, but I felt it. I still felt a little of that heaviness in my heart from the day prior. And then I come home and he has to go to karate and come on guys, you gotta go. My husband's bringing them because again, I was supposed to do a different kind of video and I just needed like some time by myself to get it all together. And then I find myself very short fused because inside I'm feeling unresolved from the anxiety from the day before. It kind of sucks. It does. It sucks. So what do I do about it? What do I do? So I talk about it is one, because to be quite honest with you, I don't know if I'm going to post this. I don't know. But already talking about it, even though it's talking to my camera, maybe it's talking to other people if I post it, it makes me feel better. It makes me feel better thinking that somebody might watch it and say, oh wow, okay, I'm not the only one that thinks worst case scenario. It makes me feel better just to get it, out of my body and out of my mind. It makes me feel better to stop and to acknowledge it. The other night I said to my husband, I said, during some of my Facebook Lives, I address anxiety, but I barely talk to you about it. I barely talk to you about how sometimes I am struggling so much on the inside. And sometimes it's really hard to move past that, to find motivation to do like things that you need to just do as an adult. Responsibilities you just need to do because you just want to sit there because you physically feel sick. You're not sick, but you just physically feel like, ugh. But, so I talk about it. I try to acknowledge it. There's definitely, and it's funny because I keep like saying, I don't want to discuss nutrition. How does that possibly have anything to do with? But I gotta tell you, when I eat like crap, I feel like crap. My mindset is crap. It's just negative all around. When I'm drinking my water to the point where I'm just like floating down the stream, when I am taking care of myself, I feel better about myself and therefore my thought process is better. I did a video the other day about gratitude practice and how it's changing my mindset, and that is 100% true. I never went through my day saying, oh wow, I was really grateful for that. I do that now and it 100% changes my mindset, but it doesn't stop my anxiety, but it adds something. That's what it does. It adds something positive to my day and my life, because it's bizarre. Like ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to, my thing was that I wanted to help people. I didn't know what that meant as a kid. And then growing up, it's like, okay, I wanted to help people that were in special ed, but I didn't want to be a teacher. Then it was, I wanted to help people with special needs, disabilities. And I love that. I love that so much. And then with this, it's I want to help other people realize that they're not alone in what they're going through. Even like my awareness videos, Awareness Wednesdays, it's not just about saying, hey, did you know this about diabetes? Did you know this about epilepsy? Did you know this about whatever else is coming up? It's about acknowledging people that are going through that. How many people have said to me, thank you so much for giving a crap about what to do in a seizure because my son has seizures. Thanks so much about, talking about the signs and symptoms of diabetes type 1 because my daughter has it. It's about letting people know that people give a crap because there's so much negativity in this world that people spew out to each other. And it's like if we just stop and like say, hey, I'm here for you, or hey, I'm struggling and I'm going to share that with you because I know you're struggling too. There's something about that. Woo! So I think I'm going to post it. And I know some of my friends and family will watch it. I'd like to think people don't judge. You know what? I think a certain level of judgment is probably in all of us. I am by no means somebody that can't function in the world. I do it every day. But I'm definitely someone who struggles. And that's what it is. I struggle with the bigger what if questions. I struggle with the thought of my kids not being safe, of my family not being safe. I know why I struggle with that, which is such a huge thing. Guys, I know I'm going on. What am I going on? Almost 17 minutes. This is long. But if you made it this far and you're someone that feels those feelings that I'm talking about, please don't accept that that's just who you are. Please don't accept that, well, I'm just anxious. Or maybe you don't even know that that's what it is. Maybe you don't have a word for it. Please, if you can, talk to somebody about that because I guarantee you there's a reason why. It's just because there's a reason. And when you're brave enough and when you're open enough to diving into that reason why, it can be life-changing. My anxiety by no means obviously is gone, but I have such a better understanding of why I feel the way I feel. And that alone helped so much because at one point in my life, my early 20s, I thought I was going crazy, to be honest with you. I thought there's no way that other people feel this way. There's no way that other people think all these horrible things are going to happen and then worry about it. And then I realized, oh wait, yeah, no, they do. And it's called anxiety. It's called anxiety. That's what it is. I mean, and maybe for other people, it's other things too, 100%. But you need to be kind, not to other people, but to yourself and take care of yourself. And that's what I'm realizing. And that's why my husband took the kids to karate so I could do an autism video. And I realized that's not where my heart was at. My head wasn't there. My heart wasn't there. If I tried to do it, it was going to be so, maybe it would have looked good, but I would have looked at it and been like, that was not authentic. That was fake. That was me spewing out information, putting a smile on my face, and asking people to buy it. And that's not who I want to be. So, I don't know. I hope this helped. Gotta be honest, it helped me. It definitely helped me to just get it out. And if you made it this far, I would love for you to, what do I want you to do? If you want to comment, share your experience. If you're open to doing that, it takes a lot of bravery, I know, to say, hey, guess what's going on in my head? But it really helps, and it helps other people too. So, all right, guys, well, I love you. Whoever's watching, I do. I have love for you just because you exist, and I hope that you are doing well. And again, I'd love for you to subscribe, not only because, yes, I want this channel to grow, but I want you to be part of what this is, what I'm trying to grow, and this community that I'm trying to build. So that's about it. I love you guys. Have a great day. Bye.